It was a rainy evening when James noticed them huddled together at a bus stop with nothing more than a single duffel bag and a blanket wrapped around a frail little girl. He had seen many people pass by them without a glance, but something stopped him in his tracks. Maybe it was the fear in the mother's eyes, or the way the girl clutched her arm, trembling. James didn't have much, but he remembered the loneliness he'd once felt after losing his wife, and he knew that sometimes a small act of kindness could change everything. James was a single father to his 8-year-old son, Noah. After losing his wife to cancer 2 years earlier, he had struggled to find joy again. Life had become a routine of work, parenting, and survival. But he always made sure Noah had everything he needed, even if it meant going without himself. That night, as he walked home from his shift at the mechanic shop, something about the woman at the bus stop spoke to his heart. He asked gently, "Do you need help?" Her name was Laura, and the child was her 6-year-old daughter, Mia, who was born with cerebral palsy. Laura's voice trembled as she explained their story. Her husband had kicked them out after Mia's diagnosis became too inconvenient for his perfect life. Her in-laws had called Mia a curse. With no job, no money, and no family willing to help, Laura had been moving from shelter to shelter. That night, they had nowhere left to go. James didn't think twice. He offered them his couch for the night. "Just until you figure things out," he said. But even as he spoke, something in him already felt changed. Their first weeks under one roof were filled with challenges. James's apartment was small, his income barely enough to cover 2 people, and he now had 3 mouths to feed. Mia's condition required extra care, special feeding, frequent physical therapy, and constant attention. Laura tried to contribute by cooking and cleaning, but her exhaustion was deep. James found himself waking up early, going to work tired, and coming home to a whirlwind of needs. But strangely, the house felt more alive than it had in years. Noah was the first to bond with Mia. Despite her wheelchair and slow speech, he treated her like a best friend. He pushed her around the apartment like it was a racetrack, read books to her, and even learned how to help with her feeding tube. For the first time in a long time, James heard laughter echo through his home. He watched as Noah gently kissed Mia's forehead before school and as Laura smiled at them like they were her own. Something beautiful was growing where there had once only been grief. But things weren't easy. Mia's medical expenses piled up. James's work hours were cut back, and Laura struggled to find a job with her limited experience. There were nights they went to bed hungry, days when electricity was a luxury. James even considered asking Laura to leave, not out of cruelty, but out of helplessness. That night, he sat in his room, praying for a sign, something to remind him he hadn't made a mistake. That sign came the next morning. Mia, who had never walked without assistance, took 3 small steps in the hallway, unsteady, but full of pride. Laura wept. James knelt beside her, stunned. "She did it because of Noah," Laura whispered. She wanted to surprise him. In that moment, James knew he wasn't just helping them, he was witnessing a miracle unfold right in front of him. Word spread through the community after Mia's story was shared at Noah's school talent show, where she recited a poem from her wheelchair about kindness and family. The principal offered James a job as a maintenance supervisor with full benefits. A local therapist volunteered free sessions for Mia. The landlord reduced the rent after learning about their situation. What had started as a temporary shelter had become a home built on love, sacrifice, and small miracles. Years passed. Mia's condition improved steadily. Laura eventually became a special education aide at Mia's school. Noah grew into a kind, compassionate young man who always spoke about the power of family, chosen or not. One sunny afternoon, as they celebrated Mia's 10th birthday with balloons and cake in the park, Laura pulled James aside and said, "You gave us more than a roof. You gave us life again." Tears welled up in James's eyes. "You gave us the same," he replied. Moral of the story. Sometimes, the family we build out of love is stronger than the one we're born into. A single act of kindness can blossom into something greater than we ever imagined, and in giving others hope, we often find our own healing.